business is the meeting, the May 8th, 2008 meeting of the Athens Shade Tree Commission. The meeting will please come to order. We have just a bare minimum to qualify for having a meeting, but we will proceed. We have for the first order of business tree permits and right-of-way issues, and these are pretty speedily dealt with. Ron Lucas, who is the forester, the arborist, pardon me, for the city of Athens, has assisted on these tree permit applications, and there is one tree, the most pressing, 152 Morris Avenue, which I think you reported also, David, as being a tree in need of removal. We determined last meeting that that should come out on the next contract, and Ron has, let's see, he said he called Total Tree Care for a removal estimate, and so that is in the works. At 52 South Shannon, this is a tree that also needs deadwood pruning by a contractor, and that's under Ron's care also. We've asked Ann Bonner to look at that. There is a tremendous improvement in communication between the City of Athens and American Electric Power on line clearance issues, on prunings and removals that are taking place right now, largely on the west side. Ron Lucas, again, the city arborist, is coordinating with the AEP people who are doing this, and he said he views their work as being a much better job than in years past, and currently they're working in the Schaefer Street area at University Commons. Let's see, in 60 Elmwood Place, we do have a permit application. It doesn't say whether it's to plant, prune, remove, or have evaluated, but we've had it evaluated by Ann Bonner, who's the ODNR urban regional forester. She recommends that there be deadwood pruning of this, see, I believe there's possibly 2 locusts there, yes, and they're both in the city right-of-way. She recommends that the property owner be given permission to have a professional tree service do deadwood pruning of these trees, and it needs to be a service with a tree service with an arborist. She says that these trees are presently not really any hazard. They're very light limbs that are to be deadwood pruned are lightweight and punky, and not a terrible concern, but it's more of an aesthetic thing for the property owner. So if people are in agreement with Ann's assessment,
yes.
Sounds good. Okay, we'll do that then. And now, their second order of business is the landscape ordinance, and we have 2 landscape ordinance issues. One is for a property at 11 Graham Drive, and this is called Integrated Service System. I believe Mr. Valentour is here and might, let's see, we can provide an assessment at this point. I don't think we have an awful lot of questions, but would you like to give a brief summary?
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you have did Steve Pearson give you a little plan of the property that we're using?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've gone and visited the site.
Did he give you a schedule for the planting as well?
He said there were scarlet oaks and Kwanzaa cherries.
I'm going to just give you these guys a little perspective of what we anticipate this project to look like.
Well, this is very interesting.
I think you've addressed one of my concerns in this, and that was what buffering exists between adjacent properties, because the new landscape ordinance requires buffering unless there are certain conditions met.
And do you want me to go ahead here and just explain what's going on?
Yes.
First of all, what I would say is the west elevation, which is the Graham Street elevation, currently is all paved, parking. And what we're going to do is rip that all out, all the paving, and put in landscaping and trees along Graham Avenue. And I guess you've already got the tree schedule to know what we propose to plant there.
Well, now, isn't it scarlet oak that you
Yes.
I wondered about the availability of that. Do you have a source for scarlet oaks?
Well, my landscapers are the ones that came up with this schedule. You're not talking to me
Okay,
as an expert
okay.
of what is available or not.
Well, I know, I checked with the website of one of the largest wholesale nurseries in
Right.
central Ohio, and they had 2 on their list of the scarlet oaks, and then just large numbers of some of the others.
Oh, really?
And your landscaper probably would not be using Lowe's, but I checked there, and they had none.
All I can tell you is that I have a contract with a contractor to provide what I said.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
okay.
And, you know, you've
I mean, but if you have a better idea, that's fine with me, too.
Well, I think it would be nice if they're available, but
They would be good if available? Well, I mean,
And-
if they're available, I'll make
and
sure. If there's a
and
problem,
There are other nice oaks that could be used instead.
But you do have time to get them planted. I mean, you know, there's the...
well, we just began. I mean, the job is not really started yet, so the selection of the tree is not, I mean, if you guys have a better suggestion, we'd certainly be willing to listen to it.
Well, I think, talking with my colleagues earlier, they have some ideas about the cherries. We're not sure why you would particularly want cherries there and not put large shade trees.
Well,
on that side.
the reason being is the Integrated Service Systems, the director is Kevin Gillespie, and this building is also going to have a cogeneration system. We're putting solar panels on the roof on the south elevation of this building to assist in power, the reduction of power consumption by AEP. It's not going to be a system which completely satisfies the needs of the building, but it will during sunlight. We're not storing electricity on site, but during daylight hours, we are going to be generating electricity which will be used by the building and then supplemented by AEP. That's occurring on the south elevation of the building. The row of trees that we planted as a buffer between the adjacent property, which is a parking lot, and our parking lot, was intended to be low so that it will not interfere in the future with our ability to gather the sunlight for electrical generation.
Yeah.
We wondered when we went to the site and saw something indicating solar
Right.
panels there.
I guess one thing that we are concerned about is shading of parking lots. I mean, buffering is good, but shading of parking lots. And if possibly some slightly larger but spreading rather than tall trees, like maybe the lacebark elm would
Elm?
give, no, just a particular elm, the lacebark elm, would give a little more shade than the cherries and perhaps not be high enough to interfere with the solar
Well,
panels.
I mean, our primary concern is we do not have a tree there that will grow to a height that will interfere with our ability to collect the sun. These
Well-
panels are not going to be adjustable, they're going to be fixed.
Okay,
on
well,
the
what
roof.
height would that be?
Well, I haven't done exact,
Okay.
I just know that the trees that we picked would be below the maximum height of the tree would be below the angle that would interfere with the southerly sun in both summer and winter. Because if we're going to set the panels, I'm sure Third Sun is doing the work. They will set the panels for the optimum collection without having to obviously modify them from summer and winter. And usually that means you're going to set them for more of a winter exposure, which
Yes.
is a lower
Yes.
profile than the summer angle
Well,
to collect those the sun.
if given the energy consideration, the Kwanzaa cherries probably are acceptable.
Yes.
We're trying to make something
And it
pretty
would be
cute
very
and
handsome,
flowery
too.
thing, something that would be flowery at the same time and fun. Because we don't have, we have that strip there that we're planting those cherries on is
It's narrower.
a
isn't it?
sloped angle. Between the adjacent property is a lot lower than our property, or Integrated Service Systems property. And we couldn't really afford more than a 4-foot barrier, so we couldn't have a big tree there in terms of just it's,
The roof
Yeah.
system, yeah. Yeah, I see.
Well, or-
Yeah, because that is is one of the constraints on this site that
and the other
width-
two elevations are, it's grass and there's a fence currently. And those, the north, let's see, the east is a commercial, and I think it's residential on both other sides that we're dealing with here.
across the street, and, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the north elevation and the east elevation are residential properties.
But in this in the elevation, you're showing a fence on both the north
They're
and the
already
east.
existing.
They're existing.
They're
Fine,
existing
okay.
fences.
Good.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
this,
I think it meets the requirements.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's very handsome.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's going to be a big improvement.
Yeah, and trying to balance the requirements of solar
I
and
understand.
trees is
Well, that's going to be an issue for
interesting.
you in the future as more and more people have determined that they were trying to come with alternative energy solutions.
Yep. Well, we're going to need some more of these large spreading trees, I think, that don't grow too high.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you, Mr. Valentork. Our next item on the landscape ordinance issue area is a parking lot at 98 to 110 North Congress. And Mr. Wharton is here, John Wharton, who's the property owner. If you'd
Why do
like-
I have to follow him? He's so well prepared. He has the names of all these trees.
It's true. He even knows the botanical name for Kwanzaa cherry event.
Bye, John. He's my architect. He says, I'll do this for you. I said, here. I have to admit a little bit of stupidity here. I hired Jeff Maiden, who's the engineering firm.
Yeah, he's a very good engineer.
Yeah, and so he did all this, and then apparently he looked at the old landscaping ordinance, and he had drafted, or he had drawn in on the side, based upon the old ordinances. And so then I was talking to Steve, and he said, no, it all changed. He said, but that's okay. He said, because he says, the new ones, and he gave me a copy of it all, I said, they allow you to, it's based on permeable surfaces, non-permeable surfaces. And he said, based upon his calculations, I needed 6 big trees or large trees. He said, but you're allowed to use existing trees. And I said, well, that's good. So what I did is I went up, and I guess he's given you the file, and took pictures of the trees that are there. Somebody has pictures. He promised me somebody had the pictures.
That explains where the pictures came from. Okay.
And so those are the trees that will remain. I think the only
Well,
tree,
now, all of the trees,
will all the trees remain?
yes.
Yeah, the bulk of the trees in those pictures, actually, I think all but one of them is trees in the back. Have you been to the lot, to the site?
Two of us
Yes,
have.
but we didn't know how far back the
Okay.
lot went.
Well, maybe you've got the updated, I'll show you, hopefully you do. Actually, I'm looking for this.
Oh,
This
that
is what
one,
I'm looking
okay.
for, yeah. Okay, so this is Congress here, okay? The trees that I've taken pictures of are located here. That's the 6 trees, okay? Those would all remain. Now, there's a tree out here that I didn't take a picture of that will have to go,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, it's just like, even if we were able to work around it initially, it'll die.
Yes.
It will be disturbing.
We're
the
not
leaves.
going to argue about
Yeah.
that.
It's an ash tree,
Yeah.
moreover, so we're glad.
And, I love sugar maple trees, and I think a couple of these trees are maple trees, actually. I think this one maybe, yeah. Pretty sure that was. Isn't that a maple?
No, I think
don't
it might
think
be
it
a tree of
is.
heaven called Ailanthus.
Oh, really?
Okay, well, anyways, that's where the trees are, and we planned on having this area here. I actually bought the land from the people that live here,
So-
or not live here, but own this property.
Okay,
And it's presently just a yard, or an open lot.
okay, and how far, is this your property line along here?
Yeah, the property line's actually right there.
So you don't
Okay.
own 110.
No, I do not own one.
Okay.
No. And there's a gentleman that lives here. This is owner occupied, one of the few remaining. Actually, I think it's the only remaining owner occupied that far down the hill.
Is that your property also, or is it only the
No,
parking lot?
No,
Just the-
it's,
That's okay.
yeah, no.
It
It
doesn't matter.
isn't, yeah. So, and I've talked to this gentleman, and his, because I actually pay rent to him, he's got a garage back here I rent off of him. And he said his only concern was maybe vapors from cars that would come in his bedroom window, which is on the first floor.
Yeah, because the new landscape ordinance does require buffering,
Yeah.
particularly when there's a residential property
And-
adjacent to a parking.
And I told him, I said, hey, if you want to meet me there and you want me to plant shrubs or something or whatever, I said, that's fine.
We would
We-
require that.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fine.
we're going to require.
Actually, that's what Jeff had drawn this in, to plant shrubs all the way down through here. I did a parking lot under the old landscaping ordinance at 60 North High Street, and we had to have buffers, and we had to have certain out front and whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I have no problems with, you know, whether it be boxwood or something that would give some height to, you know, 5 or 6 feet or something
Yeah.
to sort of. My only fear with making them too big, quite honestly, is the safety issue of not having something that people can hide behind or something.
Yeah, no,
you know.
we're not going for that, but typically you're allowed to put up to 6 feet between properties.
Okay.
But the idea really is to stop the lights shining into the other person's
And he did
property,
tell
to
me
cut down noise and things like that.
His bedroom is on the first floor, he is physically challenged, and I said, you know, if you want to get together, I'll just meet you there. I say it's very. But anyways, I said, I'll meet you there and we'll plant shrubs there. I said, if you want, we'll put up a fence. It didn't matter to me, whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll work with him. If you want shrubs all the way up,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Do you want them on both sides or just this side or
It
what?
should be on both sides,
Because the-
particularly if this is another residence
It's a
over
differing
here.
use
Yeah.
buffer.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Is there some specification as to how close together they're supposed to be or something?
Yes, in
I
fact,
mean,
these two I think are too close together
oh, these trees are too close
to
together?
be counted. And,
Okay.
yeah,
And
we've-
the trees back here in this area that'll be above the retaining wall won't be contributing anything in the way of shade to the parking lot, truth be
I don't
told.
think so. You know, I would think not.
And they're kind of scruffy too.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing beautiful about them, but I
It's,
didn't want to cut them down just for, I don't want to cut them down just for the sake of cutting them down.
Yeah.
No,
Probably
no.
holding the slope. You don't wanna,
Yeah.
Well, now,
Could be, but that's why we're putting in this retaining wall.
yeah.
there's a walnut tree here. Is that on your property?
This, no, yeah, this tree here is the existing tree, and that's on my property.
Okay.
There's a little retaining wall already there, and that's on my property.
And are you planning to retain that tree?
That's why I,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And this actually will have, we're gonna have a wall here, so, you know, the soil will remain pretty much undisturbed it's at the base of that tree. Now, my concern will be if it happens to die, because not knowing the root structure, if we cut into the roots too much putting in this wall, it might go. In which
Yes.
case, I would simply just come in and plant another tree, you know, so. I mean, I love trees, so I don't care, whatever you want to do. If these are too close together, tell me what kind of tree you want back there and I'll plant one. It makes
Well,
no
what
difference to me.
the rules basically are that if you take the area of the entire site and just divide it by 1767 square feet, and that tells you how many trees to plant. That's how
Steve
Steve
told
did-
me
did-
6, yeah.
Yeah, right. So he told you 6 trees. Large trees to count have got to be at least 30 feet from each other, and that looks
30?
30 feet
Oh,
from
okay,
each
no,
other.
these aren't 30 feet
Yeah.
away from each other.
Those two should be, and
And
obviously
the rest
one,
of them,
the
yeah,
rest
these
of them
aren't,
probably
no,
are.
they're too close together.
But that's the sort of parameter, because we expect the trees to spread, and therefore to be effective, they've got to be 30 feet apart.
Let me ask you a question, if, and when I'm done building this, can I plant one of them back out here where I had to take out the maple tree?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that, I would like to get,
That would be excellent.
I'd
That would
like
be
to get
the-
one back out front,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
That
So
would
why
be
don't I
Ideal.
Yeah.
put it here,
Yes.
that would be existing.
Yeah.
How do I mark proposed, or whatever you want to say?
Well,
I use this for existing, so just put new tree?
Yeah, just
yeah,
mark it,
do
just
a
put
little
a circle with
a
a new
circle
tree.
with a little
Uh,
dot.
okay.
Okay,
alongside.
I'll put it out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then this will be a new tree.
Yeah. So then we've got 1, 2, we'll count one of those, 3, 4.
And these are too close together.
They're
Yes,
too close to each
yes,
other.
well,
And,
another
and many of those are not very good quality trees.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, what if now this might be since this is, let me see what the dimensions is here. This would probably be too close together. Well, no, I guess I can go from here to here.
Yeah, along streets, where the 30-foot came from is that we normally plant street trees 30 feet apart.
Okay.
And so, you've got about 30 feet there. So
What
if
if
you
I
could put
did-
one that side and one
And then
this
one on
side.
this side,
Yes.
and
That would be
eliminate
fine.
this one.
Yeah,
and
that
that
would be
way-
fine.
Okay, that would
Yep.
be fine.
Yep.
So I should have done this in pencil. If I'm in my office, I have whiteout, but I use it a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, and then the only thing to watch for, I think down here, are there high voltage cables at Congress at this point?
I don't think so.
Not on that side, okay.
They're on the other side, aren't they?
I think they are on the
Okay,
other side.
good. Yeah, I mean, that's the only other thing to watch out for.
Okay.
The cable TV and other things we don't worry about, but the high AEP ones we have to worry about. But certainly two there, 3, 4, 5, 6 would
Okay,
meet.
so I'll eliminate this one.
Yeah.
And then I'll have them here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to make a copy for you to take
Yeah, I
home,
would.
so that we can have a copy of what,
Yeah, I would. I came real prepared, okay? I was looking through real fast, I don't even have a copy. Okay, this is, actually, it's up here.
Yeah.
And do you have any preference then over the type that I paint, or can I just plant maple trees?
they should be
What-
shade trees.
Yeah,
Anything
Yes.
that's
I mean, yeah.
45 feet or
there
more
is-
at maturity.
The street maple tree that we're recommending is the Acer Freemanii.
No, when we're done, I have a bone to pick with you guys. Are we done? I have a
Well,
question.
we want to make sure.
Right, Acer Freemanii first.
Yeah.
And that should be a shade tree form, not a commoner form
Yes,
of Acer Freemanii.
A what?
Acer Freemanii. It comes from the name Freeman.
Yeah, and it's got
Yeah.
eyes.
Is that sugar
Like-
maple?
Yes.
No, it's not.
It's like this.
Okay, so would a
And-
sugar maple be one of those?
No.
Oh,
No,
it wouldn't.
We would
Okay.
not recommend sugar maple
bad
because
Okay.
For a street tree. That'd be
Okay.
for that location, they need,
ACER,
uh-huh.
that
And then
means
Freeman.
maple.
Yeah,
but not sugar maple.
yeah.
Okay.
And then Freemanii is a fairly rapidly growing.
Not a silver maple though.
It's
No,
a
it's not a
hybrid
silver
of
maple.
silver
Is that-
maple. It has some of the good qualities of silver maple, but
doesn't
not the
split.
bad.
Okay.
No,
Because
it
that's
does
my problem
not.
with silver
Yeah,
maples.
and it's actually crossed with a red maple, so you get,
Okay.
you
It
get some
has
of the
better fall
characteristics.
foliage, better, stronger form, and it lacks the problems of
Okay.
the silver maple.
And the university uses them too. Did you want to?
No, I was going to make a note on this that, and you need to make a note that there'll be landscape buffering.
Okay.
Yeah, that there's shrubs all the
On
way.
both sides.
Yes, shrubs both sides.
Okay.
And
Well, now-
we're not the shrub commission,
No, I
but we
mean,
can give you some
I mean, if you need
suggestions
some,
if you want
but
some.
anything that'll grow to about 4 to
Well,
5 feet will
I mean-
be fine.
I like something that looks decent when it's done, which
Mm-hmm.
forsythia just looks trashy and.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
too
and
bushy for
quite
the
honestly,
spot.
Although there are some better selections of forsythia that
Oh,
are
yeah.
very different from the old ones.
Yeah.
And probably for this piece here, near to this person's house, you might want to go with an evergreen rather than something that is deciduous.
Yeah.
You
Give
had
them
mentioned
shade.
boxwood.
Boxwood.
They are nice, but they need trimming. If they grow naturally, they'll start falling apart.
Yeah.
So
There's some maintenance with
once a year shearing at least,
Uh-huh.
if you're going to plant boxwoods.
Maybe more maintenance than you really want.
Yeah.
Some sort
Yew
of.
trees are another one.
Yeah.
Give me some other suggestions.
Not if they have deer problems
They,
in that
they,
area.
they won't have deer problems down there.
Deer don't eat boxwood. I learned that.
No,
True.
but deer eat yew,
Eat
which he
yew,
was
which I-
suggesting.
Yeah, and yeah, that's my neighbors. They like eat them all the way
But
up.
I think
so
I think
they
where
can reach it
I think
anywhere.
where you are in North Congress, I doubt if there are.
They were in a backyard on Elmwood yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I built.
I think there's too much woods, too near there,
Huh?
to be sure about deer.
How about
I built a fence around my house just because
Junipers?
I got tired of them
Yeah, junipers
eating.
will work.
Junipers would work.
junipers would work?
Yeah.
If it's not too shaded, junipers
I mean, the
don't,
sun.
They do
yes,
better with sun.
Yes.
True.
Because see,
yes.
this isn't going to get a lot of sun because of this gentleman's house.
It's on the north side of the house.
Harry.
Call a good a nursery like, let's see, Albany Nursery, Rudy Baumgartel, or Mason
Green Leaf.
Chambers, or at Five Springs or Greenleaf. Yeah, there's a couple of really good
Yeah, I've
ones
used,
around town.
I've used,
So
They could
ask
give
them
you
for
good
some
advice.
Yeah,
I've used Rudy, and I've also used Patrick at Greenleaf.
yeah. So they're good people to provide you that information.
Okay.
So, are there any other concerns about this site?
Before I have my bone to pick with you.
Did we get the 6 trees located there?
Yes, we did. Yep.
Yes, and you've got your copy?
1, 2, these are new ones.
Okay,
3, 4, 5, and 6. We're not counting that.
okay. Is this going to be one of the existing trees? Okay. I think we should know which tree you decide on there.
Well, that's one of the existing ones.
Yeah.
I know, but there's a whole row of trees, and some of them are not very good
Oh, okay.
quality.
Okay.
And I would be interested in knowing which of those trees you decide to count.
Okay. It's not that side. It's not that.
It's that one, that one.
No, that's not
That's not
it.
it.
No.
What else have
That's
we
the
got
back.
here?
No. If that's all the pictures I gave you? Okay.
There's one.
Oh, here it is. All right. Yep, whoops. Here it is. This is the picture of the last one. These are the trees on that lower side there, and none of them are beauties.
Yes.
So I think they're
But
like
some of the-
locust or something. I don't know what they are. They're not.
Well, there was an ailanthus, and I think there
We
was
should
some
really recommend
locust.
you take out.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to cut them down.
Sorry,
okay?
the
Well, the
ailanthus.
Ailanthus is one that we really would like you to take out.
Yes, it's
I mean, I'll cut it
I
down.
think it was the
Okay.
healthiest looking one
Oh,
in
dear.
that row.
but it is an invasive trash tree, and it would be better for you to get rid of it.
It's like a red bud. It's pretty about 2 weeks out of the year, you know.
Well, redbud has many more redeeming qualities.
What are they? Other than they're pretty 2 weeks out of the year.
Leaves are nice.
But I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'll let you be the judge of, I mean, do you want me to keep one of these then? I mean,
I think it's good to keep existing trees,
Uh-huh.
but I don't remember enough about them to give
Okay.
an opinion now.
okay.
I mean, I think the best advice is to try and keep whatever you
Keep
can
them
on that
all.
side. We're counting one of them.
Okay.
So if you ever get to the
I'll
stage
note that.
where there isn't a tree, you're going to get Steve
I mean,
Pearson
I hate to
down.
cut down any big tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to be cut
I'm
down.
happy to go with
Okay.
that.
All right, so we'll leave them both,
after
even
you've-
though I can't count one of them. Here's the pictures back.
I think there were more than 2, weren't there?
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
Yeah. I have a question. It's not really a bone to pick. Aren't you guys the ones that determine which trees get planted along the
City
street?
rights of way?
Yeah.
Yes. We
I
are.
own a house, it's 78 North Congress. It's a real pretty little creamy yellow house that has like a white fence around it. It's on the corner. Carpenter, and you know where it is because it's where the AEP came along, and I have this big pine tree in the back and they just cut half of it off.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that
we've-
one.
Okay,
That's
yes,
my tree.
indeed, yeah.
I mean, it's like, I'm wondering how it still stayed alive because they just took half of the tree away.
Yes.
Yes, we want to
Yes.
change the regulations.
Oh, that's so bad.
So that they can't do that, and by the standards of the industry for any kind of arborist work, you don't take half the tree.
They did, they just cut half of it off.
I know.
But that isn't my question. My question is, that some car hit the tree that was in front of that house like about 2 or 3 years ago. So you had to replace, I mean, I kind of broke it off. I didn't get a tree. I got this like little shrub thing, okay? It's like, next time you drive, I mean, I don't want it dug out now, but I was just surprised they planted it, and I go, that's not a tree, that's a shrub.
If we think a new tree should go there, have you got any particular tree you'd like to
I
have
love
there?
maple trees.
In addition to the shrub, I mean, we'll certainly be.
It looks like a shrub.
Because we are looking for opportunities to plant,
That
to
might
plant
be a
trees.
sweet bay magnolia, which might, yeah. In which case you're a lucky man and you just don't know it.
All right. Okay. Well, the only problem is not only is it not a tree, but anything that's not real big and close to the ground has a tendency to be broken by
Yeah.
students.
Yes, yes,
That may
yes.
be why it was put there, because that's one tree that will come back
Oh,
Yes,
if
yeah.
that happens to it.
It's
okay.
true, they're really
Good
determined.
save. Okay.
Yeah, it's not very nice, but we should have a look at it and see.
Has it gotten large enough to bloom yet?
I haven't noticed it.
Oh,
And I go by it several times a day.
you
It
would
has
notice
fragrant white flowers on it when it blooms.
Well, you need the next trip by
Yeah.
See if
I'll
it's
check,
what
I'll
you're-
check it out.
And
Yes.
if it could be transplanted, I'll pay for the tree to be put in. It's like the one they put at the end of Court Street on the left. They put this little maple tree. Yes, it's never gonna make it. Then on the other side of the street, there's this real nice big maple tree. I said, I want that one, and I don't know if you're the ones that determine who, but the little trees, they just get vandalized,
Yeah.
And they need to be,
Inch and a half to 2 inch
Yeah.
caliber.
and any
diameter
low
breast.
branch is gonna get broken,
Yeah.
so you might as well just plan on it,
Yeah, well, that's why you have to specify such a large tree, because
Yeah.
they come to 6 feet clear.
Okay, I'm done complaining, I just
Yeah.
want
But I think, indeed, this site was one where there was a tree that had been vandalized or damaged, and so we put in something that we figured would keep coming back
on the Congress.
on
Yeah.
Congress,
Okay.
yeah. And this is, and we have another site or two where we've done this, and they're tough.
I noticed the vandalism more on the Court Street
Yes,
area
yes.
than I do, not that it doesn't happen on Congress, but on that corner, we actually lived in that house for a while, and, it's just,
Yeah.
it's part of the route when people drive around on Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah. Mill Street's another one where we have.
Well, a little way up past that church that is closed. There was another sweet magnolia that has been vandalized.
Yeah. The Mount Zion Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm done. Any other
Yeah,
questions?
No,
Okay.
but we'll go look and see.
Okay.
Yes.
So this then is an approved plan?
Yes.
This is
That's
what
it.
I need to,
Yep.
do I submit this to Steve now? Or do you just give him a
We
copy
will
of
give
it?
him this
Back.
with
Yes.
a summary that will
Yeah.
come from David's minutes.
Okay,
And
okay.
we'll send you a copy of
Okay.
that.
And Steve will have it in the property record.
Okay.
The code office.
Thank you. Boy, did I run everybody off? I guess.
So the reporter even left.
I knew I was live. Jeez. Thank you.
City park trees, and there have been quite a few things that have happened there. There is now a director of Parks and Recreation. The new director is Rich Campitelli, and it's an appointment that's just in its first or second week, I believe. There was a meeting of the service safety director with, I think Rich was there, Ron Lucas was there, and this was on the subject of the trees at the West State Street Park, and the groups that are using the park are not to do any more work in the park or planning in the park without going through a city process for getting approval of what will be happening in the way of whatever infrastructure, which includes trees.
And we are explicit in that approval process, are we?
We will be consulted, I do believe, yes.
No, but I mean,
In the approval process.
but have they actually written down what the approval process is they're going to try and follow?
That I don't know.
Okay. Because if
But-
they have, we should be in, I mean, clearly, from Title
Yeah.
33, we have to be consulted.
That's, yes, we're part of it. And I have pointed this out. Ron Lucas is also, let's see, he was involved in that meeting, and he's, let's see, he would like to do an inventory of all the trees that have been planted, see which have survived, and then to talk with the group about any future plantings. And so it's, finally we will have somebody who knows what's there. And he also understands about our policies, the city's policies on the size of trees that should go in and the kinds of things that are appropriate or not appropriate in some sites.
And this presumably covers the area over near the gardens as well, that were planted with apple trees.
Yes, I do believe, yeah, all users of that park. And the one thing that came out of the meeting, apparently preliminary to it, was folks in the administration walked the entire park and realized that park is just tremendously used. It's just really dense in terms of use areas and the number of people who are in there using the park for recreation and enjoying the park. It is an amazing thing, so it's not a surprise that finally there was perhaps too much of a good thing going on. Let's see, we also have something coming from Arts West. At some point, there will be some landscaping done there. This last fall, the Shade Tree Commission had 3 hackberries planted along, was that the south side of their parking lot?
Yes.
And back? Yeah. And so those plantings are not, they will be kept, obviously, those 3 new trees. And at some point, we might be asked to provide a tree or 2 in other areas, but it's not part of this current landscaping plan. They have problems with handicapped access in the front and to the back. And there's also some very odd drainage issues, perhaps on one side of the parking lot, where tree planting would be pretty limited at the moment. So we will probably see a landscape plan, but it won't involve trees.
Have they planted any trees at the front of the building?
Not yet, and that was, they were having problems figuring out how to situate the ramps,
Ah, okay. Okay.
handicapped access ramps. So, okay, well, we have nothing more on the Emerald Ash Borer data. And I don't have any other items. Is there anybody else who has?
Nope.
We have the minutes that we all read before we came, I trust. So are there any corrections to the minutes?
Other than the ones that I've already included from Aldi.
Yes, I sent corrections of typos, basically, there.
Yeah.
Fine by me, David.
Good.
How about you, Emily? Did you find any correct
No.
problems when you were reading before? Okay. It helps to get them in email form first. Okay. Well, the next meeting of the Shade Tree Commission will be Thursday, June 12th at 7 p.m. here in City Council Chambers. And if there is a motion to adjourn.
I think there is.
Move we adjourn.
And you could second. You're quite welcome, and the meeting is.